We all fell in love with the Velaryons in House of the Dragon, but then we thought, wait, why didn't we ever see them in Game of Thrones? In my previous video I talked about what the Velaryons were up to in the main book series. You can check it out here, but if you want a summary, manipulating madness, stanning Stannis, needing a booster seat to sit the Driftwood throne, and building a royal fleet for Queen Cersei just to steal it at the first opportunity. Some viewers wanted to know more about that last one. Aurane Waters, the illegitimate uncle of the current Lord Velaryon, the true Sigma of Westeros. No, this is serious. The true Sigma of Westeros. Seriously, this Chad is so handsome and charismatic he convinced Cersei Lannister to fund a fleet of war dromons just because he kinda happens to look like her old crush Rhaegar. This is, of course, after she named him Grand Admiral, despite him not just being a bastard but the bastard of a house that's currently siding with Stannis. But it's before she gets imprisoned and Aurane steals the entire fleet to become a big old pirate. He can't keep getting away! But I know what you're thinking. Why? What's he gonna do in the Winds of Winter? And where exactly do his loyalties lie? This is Fantasy Haven, your home for all things fantasy. Let's dive straight into it. The simplest answer is, maybe he's just a pirate. Maybe he got bored and spontaneously decided to do a little piracy.
We do a little trolling, it's called we do a little trolling.
Of course, his plan is clearly calculated. He hires thieves and poachers destined for the Night's Watch as his oarsmen. Grand Maester Pycelle complains to Cersei that Aurane is hiring young men as captains instead of seasoned veterans. Criminals, rowdy youngsters, sounds like rogues who would rather pledge their fealty to adventure and gold than some stuffy old house. If he's truly just a pirate, then his role in the books is to weaken King's Landing and further demonstrate Cersei's narcissistic incompetence. It's possible, but it's the least interesting option by far. Qyburn tells the imprisoned Cersei, Pycelle believes he is sailing to the Stepstones to set himself up as a pirate. I mean, if Pycelle believes it, then it's probably not true.
Lovely show.
Well, thank you. It was good. That was good. Yeah.
Oh no, I love broad comedy.
Is Aurane a Stannis Stan? Does he stand Stannis? Is he a Stan? Oh, fuck it. Upon the outbreak of the War of the Five Kings, Lord Montford Velaryon sides with his liege lord Stannis Baratheon. The Velaryons are sworn to him, and besides, if Stannis were to ascend the Iron Throne with their support, they would surely regain their lost glory. Tyrion, however, turns him into a roast seahorse, but the Velaryon banners are later spotted beyond the wall with Stannis' army, suggesting that they've remained loyal to the Manus. But why would Aurane care? He's just Montford's bastard half-brother. He has no real titles or land, he's not in a position to inherit anything. Perhaps he's simply loyal to his family. He does not have their name, but he has their blood. We don't know what his relationship with Montford was like, but perhaps they were as close as Robb Stark and Jon Snow. Or perhaps he's more cynical than that. Did he know that his warmongering lord brother was likely to die in battle, thereby thrusting the 6-year-old Monterys onto the Driftwood throne? Did he think Stannis would refuse a major vassal and supporter of his cause being led by a small child with a potentially unstable regency? Was he holding out on being legitimised as Lord Aurane Velaryon, the handsome 22-year-old warrior? It may feel as though a man like Stannis would never legitimise a bastard and give him such a powerful position. Oh wait, we've got to remember he was willing to do the same with Jon Snow. Jon's honour and loyalty to the Night's Watch stopped him from accepting the lordship of Winterfell. But does a man who builds his own pirate fleet sound as honourable? Lord Montford does die, but Aurane bends the knee to Joffrey. If Aurane is playing the long game, perhaps he did this to weaken the Lannisters from within. He asks Cersei to fund his proposed fleet, and she pays by deferring on her debt to the Iron Bank of Bravos. They promptly back Stannis on the condition that he promises to honour the Iron Throne's debts. Economics 101 with Fantasy Haven. Did Aurane help fund Stannis and steal King's Landing's fleet at the same time? There may be some more cryptic evidence for this. Stannis' creepy, insane, possibly prophetic jester Patchface gives us many riddles throughout the books. Patchface jumped up. I will lead it. His bells rang merrily. We will march into the sea and out again. Under the waves we will ride seahorses, and mermaids will blow seashells to announce our coming. Oh, oh, oh. The mermaids might represent the fleet of House Manderley in the north, who have promised to support Stannis. Do the seahorses refer to a quote-unquote Velaryon fleet, aka Aurane's band of pirates? There's an obstacle in the way, of course. Qyburn also informs Cersei that Saharis fears he means to join Lord Stannis. He's referring to Saharis Swift. And if the blue cock himself believes it, it's definitely not fucking true. So this is usually the part of the video where I pull out a joke sponsor like VisiT Leprosy Legends or DZ Season 1. But in my last video there was a big dip during my Dollar Snake Club bit. Like, that's not, that's not a real sponsorship, right? Like, I'm not actually sponsored by Corlys Velaryon. God, I wish I was sponsored by Corlys Velaryon. And on that note, introducing Sarcasm Pills. Do you get frustrated by smug YouTubers with dry British humour? No, okay, let's move on. The blood of old Valyria runs through Aurane. Or, as George R. R. Martin once said, Velaryons are of Valyrian blood. Thanks for making it easy, George. Thanks for making... Eric and Arik, come on, why would you even... The Velaryons and Targaryens have a deeply intertwined history. Excuse me, I don't know what happened there. Daemon Velaryon aided Aegon I in his conquest, and became the first ever master of ships. Perhaps Aurane will fill the same role for another Valyrian conqueror. It's like poetry, it rhymes, parallel lives, or something. But which conqueror will he side with? Daenerys or young Griff, aka Aegon VI? He's cleared the way for an invasion by weakening King's Landing, and his actions benefit both claimants. But only Aegon has actually launched an actual invasion. He's attacking the Stormlands by the end of A Dance with Dragons. Is Aurane a natural shit-stirrer, or an agent planted by Varys, who's loyal to Aegon? Varys is, of course, trying to destabilise the realm to aid Aegon's ascension. As well as screwing things up financially and navally, Aurane has exploited Lannister-Tyrell tensions. When the Tyrells wanted to take the Red Wine fleet to protect the Reach from Euron and the Ironborn, Cersei demanded that it stayed in the Narrow Sea to aid the siege of Dragonstone, and Aurane backed her up. If Lord Redwine sails his ships away, how are we to supply our men on Dragonstone? Without the Arbor's galleys, how will we maintain the siege of Storm's End? And as Grand Admiral, Aurane tells Cersei, around the docks I've heard men say that Lord Stannis has hired them and is bringing them across the sea. By them, he's referring to the Golden Company, a mercenary group serving Aegon. Even Kevin Lannister falls for this when he becomes Hand of the King. We have had reports of sellswords landing all over the south. Tarth, the Stepstones, Cape Wrath. Where Stannis found the coin to hire a free company, I would dearly love to know. The exiled Targaryen Loyalist serving Aegon, Jon Connington, wants to throw his enemies into confusion. Let the Lannisters suspect Stannis Baratheon. If Aurane's actions feel calculated, perhaps it's because he's following the Spider's specific instructions. Spider's specific instructions. Try saying that 5 times in a row. Or maybe he will side with Daenerys. Not because he's a plant or an agent, and perhaps not even because he cares about blood. Maybe he can just see which way the wind is blowing, and wants to adjust his sails accordingly. One last thing, Your Grace. I hesitate to take up the council's time with trifles, but there has been some queer talk heard today along the docks of late. Sailors from the east. They speak of dragons. Daenerys might be his most likely ticket to success.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free!
No, I don't think I will.
So what's the truth? Is he really just a pirate looking for fun? Is he loyal to Stannis like his true-born Velaryon brethren? Is he an agent of Varys, working to place his distant Valyrian cousin Aegon on the throne? Will he side with Daenerys and her scary dragons out of survivalism? It might be more simple than that. He may just be an opportunist, placing himself into a powerful position on the chessboard, preparing to sell himself to whoever promises him the most power. Has Aegon got the cash? Sure, he'll join Aegon. Will Daenerys promise him the island of Dragonstone, which Cersei suspects Aurane craves? Sure, give him a dragon. Will Justin Massey use the Ironbank's money to buy Aurane's loyalty? Sure, he'll fly the burning heart of Stannis Baratheon. The truth is, we just don't know. But there's one theory no one has postulated. Seriously, I've scoured everywhere for this one. Perhaps the Pirate King at Torture's Deep is a red herring. Or perhaps a red seahorse. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe Aurane, the Sigma male of Westeros, is the Night King. Okay, no, let's not go there. Besides, we already know that Aemond is the Night King. Ha, you like that transition, didn't you? Don't deny it. So yeah, like and subscribe and hit the bell for more content and comment your video suggestions below. This video was inspired by the theories of Brynden B. Fish and Reddit user Galanix. The links are in the description. Take care and see you next time.